Hey, it's Scott on Security. I'm Scott Beck, CEO of Beck Tech and co-star of the Amazon Prime documentary Cybercrime. You know, when I worked in radio, I remember my program director said you had to repeat things at least 7 times for people to hear it or to start influencing people's behavior. 7 times. That's why when you listen to the radio, you'll hear certain advertisements or public service announcements, or they speak about the weather, or they use their call letters. 7 times. That was the average it took in the medium of radio to impact the listeners. Now, Scott, why are you talking about radio and repeating things 7 times? Well, social media, folks, is really playing a big part in our lives today and how it's influencing. So what I'm directly talking about is the amount of groups or organizations, and no, I'm not going to be diving in any conspiracy theories, so stay with me on this. But there is some known facts of different groups that are using social media because if they can repeat the same message enough times, people will start to believe what is being said. Now, there's talk about Cambridge Analytica back during the last presidential election, and a few key states, they use targeted marketing and messaging and fake robots to get a certain message into that riding to try to swing the vote. And if you believe that theory, that they were able to do that. And they kind of swung how the presidential election went. Well, what we're seeing right now is tons and tons and tons of fake social media accounts. I mean, we're talking about accounts that have got the same pictures on them. And they'll all comment on a post like within minutes of one another. These are called bots or robots. They're not real humans. They're not really people commenting. Somebody is driving that robot bus or that program. It's all based around software, okay? So a few years ago, the cyber guy or the security guy for Facebook himself said they had about 600,000 accounts being hacked every single day. Every single day, 600,000 Facebook accounts were being hacked. Okay, they're doing that for probably a different reason. But if they're hacking accounts of 600,000, we're now seeing tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of just fake, robot-driven Facebook accounts, Twitter accounts, social media accounts. There's one study that says something like President Trump's got, I can't remember how many million followers on Twitter, and a large chunk of it appears to be robots that are retweeting his stuff to get the message out. Is that because of his handlers? Is that because of other people's handlers? Who knows? Again, that's not the point of the message. The point of the message is he who controls the screen can control a lot of people's different thoughts. And you can say, Scott, that's not true. I don't look at social media and let that influence me. Well, guess what? If you hear the same thing, just like my old radio boss had said, if people hear the same things over and over, at least 7 times or more, it will start to sway people's opinions and start to influence people's thoughts and what they're willing to do. And there are groups out there, from hacker groups to state-sponsored groups to actual government entities, that are purposely trying to drive public opinion by using fake social media accounts. All I'm trying to say is what you read may or may not really be true. Point. There was a study done by someone that researches social media specifically. Mainstream media ended up quoting this well-known person on Facebook. The person's name was Jenna. The last name is escaping me at the moment. But this person talked a lot on Facebook about certain subjects, and mainstream media started quoting this person, using it in real media news stories. So we're talking about papers, we're talking about radio, we're talking about TV, we're talking about other media accounts quoting this person. You know where I'm going with this, don't you? That person turned out to actually have been the front for a Russian group that would links back to the Russian government. They were clearly influencing or trying to influence people's public opinion. And not only did they do so good at it that it started fooling some people, it started getting quoted itself in the social media, in the normal media. It started to spread. So you had a fake group controlling a narrative, put the message out often enough that even mainstream media believed it and started quoting it as actual fact. Scott, what are you saying here? I've been seeing a lot, just even on my own feed, of people immediately reading something on the internet, thinking it's true, and just having it forwarded on. And some of it is just utter crap. Let's call a spade a spade. It's garbage, or it's old. So, folks, don't. I'm trying to help make sure that you're not embarrassing yourself in front of those that you communicate with. If you see a story and think that's interesting, take a couple of seconds and actually dig into it. See if it's factual. Where are they getting their information from? I mean, you could be watching this right now and go, "Well, Scott, that could happen to you." You're right. If you are fearful that I'm lying to you about fake social media accounts, go do a search and start taking a look at your own information. You're going to find that I'm being factual. Don't share something and post something, especially if it's sensational. Okay? If they're saying something that's like, "Whoa, that's amazing," or "Oh my God, I can't believe that's true." I saw something on the Chinese bubonic plague. Okay, so some media were talking about the bubonic plague of China, and this could be the next big thing coming after Corona. Now, my personal opinion is, I think it's media picking up on the next sensational item to try to bring people to their sites, to get people onto their platforms, because let's face it, media organizations make money by viewership. They sell advertising, so they have to show a bunch of viewers, so you always have to have something to pull people in. When I did a little research on it, turns out the bubonic plague rears its ugly head in China, usually annually. It'll be a couple of people, and often it's coming from remote areas with hunting and animals and how this transfers and eating of raw meat and that kind of stuff. But it's been happening there in China for a long time. It's not like it just suddenly hit and, oh my goodness, the bubonic plague is going to spread around the world. That's how the media and some of these fake accounts were trying to spread the message to promote some fear. And all I'm saying in all of this is be careful of what you're reading and what you're sharing. Know that there's many organizations, whether it be cyber criminals, hackers, governments, that are trying to control a narrative, and social media has become a great big megaphone for them to try to do that and influence you, because if you hear the same thing enough, you're going to believe that it's true, and that, my friend, can be very dangerous. Hey, thanks for joining me, and as I like to say, stay safe out there.